An important guest? Who could it be?
This way, please. The roads here at Dreamflux Reef are a bit run down. Oh, so, watchers, there she is.
It really is her! Miss Robin!
Everyone sang so wonderfully. It's not often that I tried this music style, but
I can't thank you enough, Robin. Well, these kids have made incredible progress in only a few days.
It was nothing, Grace. I merely taught them how to sing. It was you who brought hope into their lives. Life must be quite difficult for them in reality, I imagine.
That's right.
Whenever it's time to say goodbye to these kids, they're reluctant to leave. But I've explored every corner of Dreamflux Reef, talked to everyone I met, and they all told me the same thing. This shattered dream is not worth clinging to.
It seems you truly are a child of the Harmony. Emma and Andy are orphans I took under my wing. Carol there, with her blind eyes, used to work at a nutrition center in the outer ring of Penacony. And as for Gary, he's been living with autism since he was a child. They're not old enough to enter the sweet dream managed by the family. If we compare people to birds, these kids are like fledglings with impaired wings. But in this dream, well, they can fly freely. Even if they stumble along the way, well, they're still relying on their own strength. And me, an old lady with no legs. Well, without this dream, I couldn't even walk toward them.
I'm glad that you found a new life here in Penacony. It's just...
Don't worry, Robin. Dreams have their significance, but they aren't everything. Both the children and I understand this. No matter how long we fly through this dream, we will one day return to reality. But you know what? Emma and Gary aren't plagued by their insecurities anymore. No, and Carol is learning how to cope with her blindness. And Andy is livelier than ever. Well, even I've become more optimistic. You see, in dreams, we learn how to live. Once we return to reality, we learn how to survive.
And should our feathers be damaged, then we share our wings with one another. There's no need to covet an illusory sky in dreams.
It's a relief to see you safe and sound, Miss Robin.
It's nice to see you all again, Astral Express crew. I heard my disappearance caused quite the commotion out there. I'm really sorry about that.
Since you're here, can we assume that you...
Ever since I returned to Penacony, my voice started to change, until it gradually faded away. At first, I thought it was a temporary ailment, perhaps due to having been away too long. But now it seems the root of the problem goes way beyond me. There are elements around me that don't align with the Harmony.
The sweet dreams collapse. That memo keeper mentioned the same
While I was away from Penacony, the boundaries of the 12 dreamscapes kept expanding outward. But whenever I mentioned the anomalies in my dreams, all the family heads refused to talk about it. Only my brother was willing to respond. Later, I discovered the secret letters from the IPC ambassador, which further convinced me that there are hidden secrets beneath the surface of Penacony. So, following the clues in the Oak family's dossiers, I found my way here. The land of the exiles, concealed by the family under the guise of death. A dream within a dream, where Penacony's past is buried.
Hearing you speak, it sounds as if your voice has made somewhat of a recovery.
I hate to admit it, but the harmony in this place resonates more broadly than within the sweet dream. It's regrettable. But the family has experienced betrayal. The traitor, or traitors, abandoned their original principles and, using the name of Harmony, exploited people's weaknesses to turn Penacony into the planet of festivities. This is not the strong defending the weak, but rather the strong exploiting the weak. A world without equality won't ever be favored by the Harmony. And naturally, those voices blessed by them.
Could there be another force influencing the family's shift in philosophy, Miss Robin? Considering what happened with Acheron, it's difficult to conceive of another entity within the realm of the Harmony capable of influencing everyone.
I'd heard about what happened to the Xianzhou Alliance. But as far as I'm aware, the family hasn't faced any such external interventions. Regardless, I cannot accept my home is moving towards the very opposite of what the Harmony represents, while still claiming to uphold it. I must uncover the reason why Mikhail cut ties with the family, and who exactly it was who betrayed us all. Do you remember our arrangement, Mr. Micah? Well, here's my answer. I've decided to forgo my role, and never step foot on the Charmony Festival stage again.
Look here, brother. A little bird.
Looks like a fledgling Charmony dove. But Charmony doves don't live here. So how did this little bird get here?
It looks weak and frail. Why don't we find some...
This place is too dangerous for a fledgling. Let's take it with us. We can put it on the wooden shelf.
Okay. A bird like that must have a beautiful...
I'll ask the family head to build a cage for it.
A cage? But then it won't have the freedom to...
Let's see. What is it that has captured the attention of the two best interpreters? Oh, poor little thing.
I do. But I don't want to lock it...
Why?
Even if it's small and not fully feathered, and can't sing. It didn't come into this world just to be locked up in a cage. Birds. They should be flying free in the sky.
That's quite the romantic idea.
I think she's right. But if we leave it out in the wild, it won't survive.
Ah, I see. It seems our little scholar is still a bit As you probably know, Charmony doves can fly through the air. When they fly really high, the friction caused by the flapping of their feathers again. We've seen this spectacle so many times that we think it's just something they can naturally do. But that's not the truth. Their radiant display is that their ancestors were too weak to survive on the ground. So, to escape predators, after countless attempts by many generations.
So, you mean... birds aren't born to fly?
Well, that's an idealistic way of putting it.
I think people believe birds are meant to fly because they've never seen those birds cry.
That's an interesting perspective.
For now, I'll keep it in a cage. I want it to live, no matter what.
Well said, kids. It seems each of you has found your own
We will take good care of it. Won't we, brother?
Yeah, but Mr. Gopherwood, there's one thing.
And what might that be?
What if this little Charmony dove never learns to fly in the end? I mean, if there are fledglings in this world that can... Should we let them go back to the sky? Only to see them crash?
Talking in your sleep, Birdie? Huh? Need a hand? Yeah.
Where is Robin?
I knew that was going to be the first. Don't worry, your sister is here, safe and sound. If I were you, I'd be more worried about myself. After all, right?
If you wanted to kill me, you wouldn't give me the chance to speak.
So, you figured out who I am, huh? No wonder you had the guts to go against the Dream Master in the fourth
Choice.
You are aware of my plan and see through my act. Time is running out. I'm suggesting we cooperate.
Cooperate? What make...
The fact that the famous Robin has chosen my side. Plus, some clues about a traitor and a bright future for Penacony. Any of that catch your interest?
I find it hard to believe a man who's full of deception.
Fine. You don't have to trust me. What you should, a sense of justice.
It's... Show me Robin first.
All right, as you wish. Here she is.
Huh?
What's your trick this time?
Just kidding. I mean...
And the crew, too. There are too many...
That'd be great.
This is the monument I mentioned earlier. The names inscribed on it should be familiar.
Rosalina, and...
When Penacony was known as a frontier prison, it was the Trailblazers who connected it with the stars. They were the heroes who saved Asdana, and their names, however, today the planet of festivities is nothing but sweet dreams.
If their names are inscribed here, then that means...
According to Micah, they died, no?
Rosalina was killed during the War of Independence. Tiernan was a skilled gunslinger, strong and reliable. In the decade following the war...
The way I'd expected is...
True to the title of...
When Dreamflux Reef, here we meet again.
Robin. Feeling lucky.
The atmosphere, sir. I brought Gallagher here. It's...
Well, I did my job. I gathered everyone here.
Brother...
There's no need for words. You're safe.
The atmosphere sure is livened up with all these people in here.
I promised to give the siblings some
That sounds sensible enough.
Oh? Is it that obvious?
The look on your face is practically...
You're right, Mr. Yang. The siblings already know what they need to, and they've made their choice. But you, Nameless, arrived a bit before we begin. Let me reintroduce myself. I'm the founder of Dreamflux Reef, the deputy of the Watch. As Gallagher, the history fictionologist, I humbly extend my greetings to you all.
History fictionologist?
Well, don't worry. Almost everything I shared was true. Well,
I double-checked with Micah, and everything he said about the family, the watchmaker, and...
thank you for your understanding. Now let's get down to business. I'm sure you're all wondering why I went through the trouble of setting up this battle for the legacy, inviting different factions, and stirring up a ruckus all over Penacony. Well, it all boils down to something very familiar to all of you. The Stellaron.
The Stellaron? But how is that possible? Penacony is a...
You're totally correct. So... I wish that were the truth. But if that were the case, the sweet dream doesn't come out of thin air. If you think of the memory zone as to achieve this feat, without the help of an emanator of remembrance or enigmata, the only way, and that's not something you can achieve with a simple wish. It requires vast quantities of knowledge, time, and manpower. In Asdana, the planet of festivities itself is a Stellaron disaster.
The planet of festivities itself is a Stellaron disaster?
It all started a long time ago. back when the Watchmaker and his crew liberated the frontier prison. They faced countless challenges. The Stellaron first entered the Asdana system during the war. The Nameless warned everyone against the folly of attempting to tamper with such a power, and most heeded their words. The turning point came after Tiernan's death. With two of the by the time a representative from the Montor system's family arrived.
And I suppose the family happened to possess the knowledge to seal the Stellaron?
Not just that. They knew far more about the Stellaron than the average person. They helped Mikhail swiftly quell the civil unrest and played a part in building Penacony under the disguise of the Harmony. Those 3 eras were known as the Age of Dreaming. The Watchmaker, who had been left in the dark, sent out invitations across the universe.
Then, how did they turn against each other?
Remember the island in the ocean metaphor? The truth is, the Stellaron was never truly sealed. It existed in a different form within the dreamscape. It's people's lives. The opulent dream is built upon the decay of spirits, with a toxic elixir called pleasure flowing through the dreamscape. It tempts people to indulge in the dreamscape, and gradually their minds succumb. Big confusion, laziness, and cowardice. Weaknesses that plague humanity were magnified and nourished by the family. Penacony became a new kind of prison, even more impenetrable than the previous one. Sadly, we realized this far too late. By then, the family had a firm grip on Penacony, swiftly quelling any opposition that arose. At my wit's end, I had to use the power of the Enigmata and sought refuge in this chaotic realm. Over the years, I created a meme within this dream for our use, Dormancy. That's its real name. We exploited a loophole. You see, regular people can't fall asleep again while they are...
So this is the true meaning of the impossible. You sent out invitations in the Watchmaker's name to find forces capable of resolving the Stellaron disaster.
It's not just that. Above all, I wanted to see what happens when the major factions engage in a struggle for the legacy. Since this is the Watchmaker's first and...
So, the legacy is just a facade.
If you want to consider the Stellaron as the legacy, I'm totally fine with it.
If that's the case, where is the Stellaron?
That's a question for Mr. Wings. The Stellaron is still under the family's control, and as the head of the Oak family, I'm sure he holds all the answers. Go ahead. I'm sure Mr. Wings holds all the answers.
As I suspected.
You all look quite serious. Is there anything I can do to help?
Are you done talking? So, will you tell us where the stuff...
It is the Penacony...
As I suspected, it's the embodiment of the family. The edifice that first materialized within the Sweet Dream. That's what turned Penacony into its current state.
As for the person who employed its power, it is in fact Mr. Gopherwood, the current Dream Master.
Well, that was easier than I thought. Did you conduct your own...
Correct. When I was trying to track down the person who murdered my sister...
Confronting...
I didn't have other options. The Dream Master has been elusive, and even the heads of the families can hardly get an audience with him. Moreover, Mr. Gopherwood has been kind to my sister and me. And I didn't want it all to end like this.
What do you mean by that?
To be honest, my brother and I are also victims of the cancer of all worlds. We grew up as orphans, and were adopted by the family when they came to help. Mr. Gopher Wood recognized our potential and brought us to Pennock, but I can't just stand by and watch Mr. Gopher Wood become an enemy of the Harmony. I won't use my voice to support an evil. I won't step on that stage and sing, no matter who the traitor is, or what orders they give me. I won't let the Charmony Festival become an event that destroys Harmony itself. For the paradise in our dreams.
Indeed. For the paradise in our dreams. As the head of the Oak family, I'm responsible for ensuring Penacony's promising future. Robin and I will head into the sweet dream and confront the Dream Master. And if it turns out that the family has truly strayed from the Harmony, I'll fight alongside you. We'll put the Charmony Festival on hold and make sure Mr. Gopherwood pays for his blood debt.
The enemies you are about to face aren't like this old dog here, who can barely even bark. Since our interests are aligned, why don't we team up? Maybe.
We have always been following in the footsteps of our nameless predecessor.
Yeah, we Nameless won't back down from a challenge. Isn't that right, Mr. Trailblazer? That line actually makes me a bit nervous.
Rest assured, sitting on the sidelines isn't in our nature. Mr. Sunday, Miss Robin, I'm willing to accompany you on behalf of the Astral Express. Having a third party present should help with negotiations.
Thank you, Mr. Yang.
Thank you all very much.
The Charmony Festival is about to start. And time.
Everyone, let's gather over here. We still need to make some preparations.
The moon shines on the truth.
I may have been quick to step up to the plate, but
Huh? Even you're saying that, Mr.
He's the leader of the families of Penacony, and he has the entire power of the Harmony.
Maybe you can just stay behind?
no, that won't do. Even if we count Robin as an ally, something felt off about Mr. Sunday just now. Although, you're still carrying the keepsake the IPC envoy gave you, right? May I borrow it for a moment? As I suspected, this chip Aventurine gave to you is actually a miniature transmitter. If I'm right, he intends to use it to track your location or contact you when needed. As it so happens, this may actually be a...
Aventurine? Is he still alive?
Remember what I said earlier? Working with the IPC is a way to keep the family. If negotiations go south and the family show their true colors by going after the Stellaron, I'll use this transmitter to send it. The only question mark in all of this is Aventurine's current status. But the IPC is all...
Good luck to you, Welt.
Well, you take care too. If anything goes wrong, don't...
Spoken like a true hero. Even if the Dream Master is innocent, the family's corruption runs deep.
Don't you have something else to tell us, Gallup?
Why would you say so?
Before we departed, the conductor asked us to inquire about the three Nameless in Penacony. We've already collected intel about Rosalina and Tiernan, so the only one left is, if I'm not mistaken, we've already...
It's not enough to say meat, but the answer is pretty obvious. After all, I've hinted at it in quite an... I've been watching over you ever since I received the reply from the Astral Express. And I've seen the great effort you all put into linking different realms together across the cosmos. Miss Himiko, were you the one who repaired the Express and got it sailing through the cosmos again?
Yes.
And you two, young Nameless, you have very interesting life.
I don't know much about my life story.
You're full of energy. Please send my regards to the conductor, Pom Pom. Please let them know that their friend had fond memories from his time aboard the Express, which, as for the last nameless, he embarked, disembarked, and embarked again, traveling in a great circle. And on his deathbed, he told me to find the Astral Express and deliver an invitation to the future nameless. He left behind a special gift, a true come with me. Now is the time to reveal it.
The moon shines on the truth.
Back here again.
Sometimes I feel like you're still alive, old friend. Like you've still got so much to say and do. I've kept my promise and brought the future trailblazers you've waited so long for. I don't know why you were so obsessed with that train, but I remembered. Don't let us down, old man.
What's happening?
Go ahead. His resting place lies in the garden up ahead. The first and last nameless of Penacony. Mikhail Char Legward, the Watchmaker.
Sure enough, the Watchmaker is the
The legacy he left behind was a dream bubble. I believe inside that bubble, after all, when I checked its contents, I found...
Well, let's...
Wait, what, seriously? How could a dream bubble be...
That old man always had this strange belief in the nameless and the trailblaze. I could never figure out.
Don't think that's the case, Gallagher.
Don't start getting all philosophical on me.
Just as Mikhail believes in the nameless of the future, we unconditionally believe in that there must be something contained in this dream bubble. It's just we haven't...
Well, I'm a follower of that's why I understand what faith means in the path of Trailblaze.
Can I borrow your pet? I need to make a trip back to Golden Hour and check something at the Dreamscape. It's for Mikhail, and for the future of Penacony.
Welcome to the Reverie Hotel.
Greetings. We're the Nameless from the Astral...
The Astral Express?
Yes, my companion's already checked in. My name is Dan Heng.
I see, but your companion said you wouldn't be coming. And you are...
Me?
He...
Oh, I see. Another one of the... Since there's a precedent, I'm sorry, dear guests, but it seems I'm unable to...
What do you mean by...
My apologies. This is the first time I've encountered a situation...
How about this? Give me their room number.
I'm afraid that's not possible. I need to verify book...
How about you just wake up?
I'm sorry, but there are strict rules...
So nothing works, huh?
Please be patient.
And now it seems you need...
It's...
Fudge!
I don't think she's trying to give us a hard time. She really just doesn't know what to do.
I have a bad feeling about this. You tried to contact them on the Express earlier, but
Something doesn't seem right. I need to leave for a moment. You...
Sure thing. Don Hung seems pretty worried about his companions. I should give him some space, but stressing out about it won't help anything. Locked and loaded.
Greetings. I'm Cody of the Bloodhound family.
Hello. So, there's something I wanted to ask about. Do you think there's anything to be worried about? I traveled all the way from the Hayai Federation. Wait.
I'm not sure where you heard those rumors. At present, all of the families are focused on making sure the festival starts on time.
She doesn't appear to be acting. So, it seems that even the hotel staff are out of the... Locked and loaded. Locked and loaded. Locked and loaded.
Everything... The Charmony Festival is at the...
Hey!
Well, I didn't come all the way here especially for the festival. Honest.
Well, back in my homeworld, Anaria.
Oh, come on. The Charmony Festival is...
Well, anyway.
Unsettling things?
Relax. With a big...
Oh, well, looks like I won't get any fudging clues out of these two. They're... back already?
Hasn't she returned yet?
Nope. I'm starting to wonder. Neither the staff nor the guests seem to know anything about what's happening in the Dreamscape, and wherever we go, all we see is people and...
I agree. Another unusual thing is that the Oak family is supposed to be in charge of organizing the council and manage... I walked around the hotel, but didn't meet a single member of the Oak...
Well, I'll be forked.
We shouldn't linger here
not so fast. Have you ever robbed the IPC, bro? If you run away now...
Are you suggesting we sit here and do nothing?
I wouldn't say do nothing. But let's stay put for now. Even if the family has ulterior motives, they couldn't have anticipated us showing up here. We're the surprise factor for them. They don't want to attract unwanted attention from certain outsiders, so they won't do anything.
If I were a family member, I'd find an official...
Of course, we don't need to walk into their trap. I gave a backup plan to the Memo Keeper. If it turns out we won't be allowed to enter the dreamscape, she'll order a drink for me in the VIP lounge at the...
A secret signal.
That's right.
Oh, a concrete object can...
I'm sorry, but it's one of my quirks. I have too many unreliable friends. And if I reveal that I have backup plans...
How do we get into the VIP lounge?
This is where my street smarts come into play.
You can actually book a stay on credit, and the interest is surprising.
You're the...
Yes, I am.
We're the Nameless from the Astral Express. We wanted to check in, but there's something wrong with your system. We've been waiting here forever, without any food or water.
Is this your idea?
It's called...
I apologize for the inconvenience. Please wait while we try...
Just...
Wow, this bar's something else. Certainly worthy of the planet of festivities.
One-beat soul glass, shaken, not stirred.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, I have an order for...
Hasdana's White Oak. I think there might be a misunderstanding.
Oh, no way.
If someone had reserved such a beverage, I would definitely remember it. It sells for hundreds of thousands of credits per bottle, after all. I couldn't afford to cover for such an item if it were broken or lost.
That's strange. What could it...
Then what should we do now?
Oh, no need to rush. Now, let's see...
Wow, that's the most expensive... What can I get for you?
Anything you recommend is...
Then I would recommend today's special.
This flavor. Dynamite barbecue with rocket fuel. Ooh, really hits the spot.
Dynamite barbecue with rocket fuel. Is that really something that he...
Hey, this guy doesn't know anything.
As long as you're satisfied, dear guests.
Let's give the Memo Keeper another half-system hour. If she doesn't show up, we'll need to come up with a new plan. In the meantime, let's take stock of
the situation is unclear. Something must have happened on the planet of festivities, but the public is unaware of it. Someone in a position of power within the family must be covering it up. It's unusual for the followers of the Harmony to invite other factions, let alone the IPC and the Masked Fools.
Actually, there's something else I'm concerned about. As you know, the faction that follows the path of the Hunt are some of the most dangerous folks in the cosmos to mess with. I mean, isn't there a saying among the Xianzhou people that the Rainbow Sect lets their lucks arrow
talking?
Well, you know what I mean. Even though the Galaxy Rangers have been out of sight for years, we've been keeping an eye on this region. But that Acheron lady, she doesn't seem like a lunatic at all. On the contrary, she's highly logical and organized. She knows exactly when to hold back and when to strike without mercy.
And do you believe that someone like her would have an ulterior motive for impersonating a galaxy?
I'm not entirely sure, but I do have my suspicions.
Anyway, what worries me more are the anomalies within the family. They've summoned followers unless the invitations weren't sent by them. If that's the case, it's even more intriguing.
Maybe it's Shipei the Harmony pulling the strings. You find that people do stupid things out of irrational impulses. They abandon, but Eons don't. They stick to their determined path and never turn back, even if they reach a dead end.
You think Shipei's will is behind all this?
It may not necessarily be Shipei, but there's definitely some higher entity involved. I know it may sound pessimistic. It's much simpler when you boil it down to the eons and paths. Like how Lon always follows the path of the hunt, or how the Express stays true to the Trailblaze despite Akavili's disappearance.
But in my opinion, Akavili's fall holds significance for the Nameless.
Oh. So you're saying the Nameless now have to take responsibility for their own choices because their absolutely right leader is gone?
Exactly. I believe the purpose of the journey isn't just about following a path that's always considered absolutely right. It's more about doing your best to choose the right path for yourself among countless possibilities, even with limited insight and judgment.
I don't know what you've been through, but I agree that people must take responsibility for their choices, because no one else can do it for them. That's why the Galaxy Rangers need to uncover the imposter and figure out her true intentions.